Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Calgary affiliate Owen here for Squatch Productions. I have joining me today from BC, I believe, is Curtis Dickson.
Yes, sir. Owen, how are you, buddy?
Good, my friend. So I have a couple questions for you today, actually.
Let's do it.
Okay, first question. What do you like most about playing in San Diego?
Ooh, what do I like most about playing in San Diego? I mean, you can't complain about the weather. The weather's
Yeah.
fantastic. But the team, I mean, it's a great group of guys. Obviously, we've got a pretty good roster and we're doing well so far. So, when you're winning, it's fun. So that's probably the best part is we're doing well right now and winning lacrosse games. And then, ultimately that's what it's all about.
Yeah, on the flip side, how hard was it to leave Calgary?
It was extremely difficult. I was there, like 11 years or something, and it was my home for the first my entire career, and leaving the guys and the fans and the whole organization behind it. It certainly wasn't an easy choice, and it was something that wasn't made overnight. But again, at that point in my career, I thought it was time for a bit of a change, and I'm extremely grateful for everything that Calgary did for me. And I do miss it, but again, I'm also happy with where I am in San Diego now.
Yeah, you get to play with your long friend Dane Dovey again.
I do, yes. We spent a year apart and missed him dearly, but we found our paths have crossed again.
Yeah, I am happy for you. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that free agent sign, I was in a car at the time and I almost threw my phone out the window. I I
Well, I'm
was
glad you
happy you
did.
got to play with Dane again, but I was like, I was in the car when news broke, and I was like, ah.
I know, and that was one of the hardest parts of the decision was knowing, I'd be letting people down and they'd be upset. But
Yeah, I know. Okay, and then I got another question here for you. Uh, Favorite video game system?
I mean, I got PS4 still. I haven't upgraded to a PS5, so I'm still grinding out on the old PS4. That's um still works good. So until that thing
Yeah,
breaks down, I'll be a PS4 guy.
yeah. What's your go-to game on there?
I play a lot of Apex Legends. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah,
of that one. It's a
I've heard
it's
of
an
Apex.
FPS game. That's kind of what I dabble with right now. So I play
Nice.
a little bit of video games, get some spare time. So
Yeah, when you're not training.
yes, sir. I'm getting old now. I got to do that more than I used to. So
Yeah, no, fair enough. I recently just switched to PlayStation this generation. So I got a PS5 and I've been hammering out Spider-Man.
oh, nice. How is it? Graphics are probably pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, graphics wise, it feel doesn't feel like I'm staring at a TV. It feels like I'm looking out the window.
That's pretty
So,
cool.
yeah, it's pretty crazy how far along they are with the graphics nowadays.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, here's another burning question I had to ask you today when I had you. Tim's or Starbucks?
That's an easy one for me. That's a slam dunk. It's gonna be Starbucks. I am
Yeah?
Anybody that knows me knows I'm not a Tim's guy. I I don't know. Coffee's trash. I'm a Starbucks through and through. Unfortunately, and a lot of Canadians might get mad at me for that because Tim's is supposed to
Yeah.
be a Canadian staple, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely a Starbucks guy.
Yeah, I know our producer is actually reverse and he's based in the States, so
There you go. Tim's is starting to make their way down in the States now too. So
yeah.
they're taking over.
Yeah, well, Tim's is owned by an American company now, I believe. So,
That is correct. I think it's Burger King.
yeah, I believe so. I went that quite recently. So here's one I have no background knowledge on. What was the MLL like?
The MLL, I didn't play a lot. I played two kind of partial seasons. The MLL wasn't nearly as well ran and professional as the NLL.
Oh yeah.
Um, didn't have great experience at the MLL, but I did play in the PLL, which is what
Yeah.
the Chaos are. The PLL was good. I played the one summer when we did the bubble during COVID out in Salt Lake City, and that was awesome. It was a lot of fun. really well ran. Um, League that Paul and Mike Rabel started up, and definitely a massive step up from the MLL, which is no longer in business. And it was fun. It was fun. I'm more of a box lacrosse fan than I am a field lacrosse fan.
Yeah.
I played box my whole life, and field I've only started in middle school, high school, and went to college, obviously. But if I had to choose, I'm definitely a box guy through and through. So
Yeah.
I'm on Team NLL.
Sounds good, for sure. Yeah, tell me more. Are you still with the PLL or
Well, recently last summer they put a rule in that you're not allowed to play summer lacrosse in
WLA?
the
Yeah,
WLA in the summer league. So I opted out of playing in the PLL and stayed back home here and played in the WLA.
nice. And you've had quite a successful run with the WLA, I believe.
Yeah, I've my first 8 or 10 years was playing in Maple Ridge, and was part of a trade actually. Dane Dobie, he was traded to Maple Ridge, and then we both went back to Langley. And last summer was my first summer playing in Langley, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good team, obviously, and won the West, and got to go compete in the Mann Cup in Peterborough, and unfortunately lost in 7 games, but it was a heck of a
Hey,
ride.
hey, those Lakers are tough opponents, I've heard. So
I mean, they built
good.
themselves a dynasty, and they're doing it
Yeah,
right. And like you said, they're a really good team. So,
yeah. Okay, you can go on a trip anywhere in the world. Where are you going and with who?
oh well, with who? I gotta go. I gotta go with my wife. I just recently got married, so
Nice, congratulations.
if I say anyone except for her, thank you. If I say anyone except for her, I might get in trouble. But anywhere in the world, I think we're planning. I've never been to Europe. We're planning on doing Europe. I think
All right,
next, probably September, October, just for kind of a late honeymoon, since I'm in the middle of my season right now, so we can't
nice.
do a honeymoon. Or I've seen some videos of Bali actually lately.
Yeah,
Look really nice. People staying in kind of little huts and places out there, and it looks beautiful. So
yeah,
anywhere in Europe or Bali is going to be my final answer.
nice. And I recently came back from California from doing a Disney trip. Have you gone to Disney yet since being down there?
I haven't been to Disney yet, not since being down there. No, we've obviously we're pretty busy when we're down there with our
Yeah,
games and practices and stuff. But
yeah,
I've been to Disney once. I went when I was way back when I was in grade 3.
yeah,
Um, from what I remember, it was a blast. And maybe if I can convince the wife, we should do our honeymoon at Disney. Go ride
yeah.
some roller coasters.
That would be a fun idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh my goodness. I think I'd have to go with flying. I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that I have to take a plane every weekend to go do my job and to all these different cities and spend hours on a plane, it would be nice to just strap my bag to my back and
Yeah.
fly right to whatever arena I'm playing at. So
Yeah.
I think I'll go with flying for sure.
Yeah. And that actually ties in a little bit with my next question is how did you get your nickname Superman?
It was one of the old, my first year in Calgary, our announcer. I guess just the fact that I was never stayed on my feet, and I was jumping around the net and crease diving and doing whatever else. And he coined me with the name Superman, and 12, whatever, however many years later is now, it's still holding strong. So,
Yeah. Okay. Who is the hardest goalie to score on in the NLL?
oh, hardest goalie to score on. That's a good question. There's a lot of good goalies. Um, obviously, I'll give Christian a shout out, even though I don't want to. He's very good at what he does. Dylan Ward's another guy, big body, plays his angles really well. Nick Rose, same thing. They're probably the top three that I'd say I'd least like to shoot against on a weekly basis.
Nice. And here's one I didn't give you actually, but I'll give it to you now. Who would win in a mascot fight? Salty from the San Diego Seals or Howie the Honey Badger?
Oh, that depends. Where is the fight being held, on land or in water?
Land.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, everybody knows honey badgers are pretty relentless. So if you did a best of 7 series, maybe they might have to take Howie in 7. But sorry,
Yeah.
Salty, if you're watching this, buddy.
Yeah, I thought of that after doing a little bit of my research. Yeah. Okay. We talked about who you played for in the summer, and yeah, I think that's all I have for you, actually.
Right on, man.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me on anytime, buddy.
Yeah, and this has been the first in a series of I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of NLL players.
Well, I'm happy to be the first.
Yeah.
I've got one quick question for you, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Go for it, Greg.
So you talked a second about how the PLL isn't letting the guys play in two leagues, and like I understand why they're doing it, but you're going to lose out on a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of key players that have played up there, and then you get guys like Joe Walsh who never would have been box players if they hadn't been an outdoor pro player and been allowed to play, like with Tavares up in Canada and stuff like that. So I mean, how do you see that kind of shaping out for the league up there?
Yeah, it's tough. Again, obviously, they don't want their guys getting hurt playing in both leagues, and that's obviously their mindset behind it. But it's unfortunate because, like you said, there's been American guys that have come up and spent summers in Canada playing box, and I think it's been huge for the development of those guys. Like you said, Joe Walters, and there's other guys that have come down. I think Joe Rezateritz was another guy that played some summer Canadian box. So it's unfortunate. It's definitely a good stepping stone for those guys to get that box experience and be able to thrive in the NLL. But at the same time, I know there's tons more box happening in the states now, and they got their leagues and it's growing immensely. So hopefully that picks up and you start to see a bigger American contingency and in the NLL. And I think it's only a matter of time before that starts happening. And again, I'd love to be able to play in both the PLL and then WLA, but geographically for me, it makes more sense driving 20 minutes to Langley to go to a game rather than flying across country to wherever they're playing at that weekend. So that's kind of my mindset behind it. So again, I'd love to be able to do both, but that's the decision that they made. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, so if you don't mind me asking, what is your full-time gig, or do you just play lacrosse and coach lacrosse? And
playing and coaching, that's living the dream, as I like to say for now. Is doing it for as long as possible. I'll have to grow up and get a big boy job one of these days as my career is winding down and I'm not getting any younger, but I'm living the dream while I can.
that's my favorite part, though, is to hear from guys like you that actually get to do it. I mean, that is so cool. There's so few players that get to make it to that level. So, I mean, thank you very much for your time. I know Owen appreciates it, and yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Anytime, fellas. Thanks for having me.
absolutely. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys.